This is not gonna be the time for me to now start crying on YouTube. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. What's poppin', what's crack-a-lackin'? Hope you guys are well. In today's video, I'm gonna be starting a new series on my channel focusing on mother-daughter relationships and really talk about and discuss the aspects of it that are good, the aspects of it that are bad, just unpacking toxic, unhealthy mother-daughter relationships in a way that can somehow give help, encouragement and hope to anyone who may have a difficult mother-daughter relationship currently, or if you're someone that you desire to have a close and healthy relationship with your future daughter, current daughter, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm gonna start off, this is kind of like an introduction to everything, and I thought let me start off by introducing myself in case anyone that's watching doesn't know who I am, has never seen me before in their life, and they're probably wondering, who is this girl that thinks she can give me advice about mother-daughter relationships? Like, who are you, girl? Okay, so my name is Amina. I am a influencer, content creator, YouTuber. I am a mum. Clearly, I'm a mum to an 18-year-old daughter. I'm based in the UK. I'm originally Nigerian, British Nigerian. Just a little backstory as to my own journey into motherhood. I had my daughter when I was 18. I was pregnant at 17, but I had turned 18 by the time I had my daughter. I have a video on my channel kind of talking about the whole experience of me informing my Nigerian mum that I was pregnant at 17 and how that went down. Before I got pregnant with my daughter, I was very much a good girl, I guess. Not that getting pregnant as a teenager means that you was a bad child or anything like that, but just to kind of give you a picture of how I was leading into motherhood. As a teenager, I wasn't a bad child, I don't think. I was very smart in school. I was basically that child that was very much full of personality, hung out with the cool kids. I would be like almost like the class clown, but also able to focus and get my work done at the same time. I had a bit of like the nerdy side and the cool class clown side of me as well. I enjoyed school. I loved going to school. It wasn't until I was 16 and I met my daughter's dad that I actually had any desire to even have a boyfriend or even cared about having a boyfriend or anything like that. Although, you know, I knew that I fancied boys here and there, so I thought some boys are cute, but I was very much a tomboy myself, so it wasn't really something that was like, oh my gosh, like what are boys saying, like what's going on over there with that gender. So that was kind of part of the shock aspect of, you know, the whole story of me getting pregnant. Yeah, my daughter's dad was my first boyfriend, like my first proper boyfriend, first in everything, like sexually, everything, like living together, the whole shebang. I basically grew into womanhood and motherhood with my daughter's dad in that relationship, which spanned from the age of 16 to about 21, 22. I had my daughter. We broke up when she was 2 years old and I officially became a single mum. Although her dad is very much present in her life, my daughter and her dad have a great close relationship, which I definitely thank God for. But obviously she lives with me, she's with me most of the time, and I will still be classified as a single mum because I'm literally like the main carer for my child. Also, my daughter's dad was the same age as me when I got pregnant at 17. We were both the same age, so we were both teen parents. For those of you who don't know and haven't come across me and my daughter before, we have had a few viral moments online as mother and daughter, and a lot of people follow me or have gotten to know of my existence through images or videos of me and my daughter from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. So there's quite a few of you that follow me or are aware of me and my daughter's relationship from social media. For me, as someone who has been on social media for 5+ years, it kind of took me a while for me to actually introduce my child to the internet. I think like a lot of people in the beginning, at the very beginning, didn't actually know that I was a mom and I had a child. And I guess as she got older and I started to see her becoming more confident in herself, I kind of just asked her, like, you know, like, do you feel comfortable with me sharing your Instagram when people are asking me for your Instagram or tagging you in pictures? And, you know, she came to her own decision that, you know, yeah, mom, like, it's fine to tag me. I'm very much aware of what the internet is like, so I was kind of protecting her from that. We ended up, you know, having more of an online presence. She has her own social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and obviously I have mine as well that I've been growing over the years. I never thought that in me sharing my daughter and opening up about that aspect of my life would impact people in the way that it has. I get so many people messaging me and telling me that, oh my gosh, I love the relationship that you have with your daughter. Like, when I do posts with my daughter, the videos I filmed with my daughter, like, I've just come to realize and acknowledge that there are quite a few people who see my relationship with my daughter and they like that. I feel like in the last couple of years, I've been noticing more and more that I get comments and messages where people say things like, oh, I wish I had a relationship with my mom like you do with your daughter, or I really hope that I can have a relationship with my daughter like you do. And I've also seen that certain aspects of my relationship with my daughter seems quite foreign for quite a few people because they're not used to seeing that, or they're not used to having experienced that for themselves, which for me, I think is quite sad. In general, there has been so many videos, viral videos of really toxic and unhealthy mother-daughter relationships. I remember watching a video, I can't remember whose channel it was on, but it was like a reaction video kind of thing of a mother and daughter. I think the video was originally from Facebook, and I saw a mother and daughter just going at it, like literally fighting, like literally getting into a physical altercation. But even before the physical altercation transpired, just the verbal communication, the hate, the resentment, the pain between the two was just like, wow. It actually looked like they were talking to a random stranger on the street. It didn't seem like the two that were going back and forth were mother and daughter. They could have been anyone. They could have been random strangers on the street that had never known each other, never met each other in their life, and they're both really angry, really pissed off with each other, and they're just ready to like just drag one another from top to bottom and then end up fighting, you know? It was really quite shocking. I know that mothers and daughters can sometimes butt heads, but to this extreme and to this extent, it's really quite sad. I'm really blessed to be in a position where my relationship with my daughter isn't like that. And this is not to say that our relationship is perfect in any way, shape or form, because we are not perfect as human beings. So there's no way that our relationship can be perfect. I'm not perfect, my daughter's not perfect. I'm not an expert in mother-daughter relationships at all. This series that I'm doing is gonna literally be talking from my experience, the experiences of others, and even just delving into the science of mother-daughter relationships as well, because I find that really interesting to highlight and to talk about as well. I always say that I feel like I'm just winging this whole motherhood thing. Like, I'm literally just winging it, because we all know, anyone who is a mother knows that, or just a parent in general knows that there's no handbook to parenthood. There's many books on parenthood, there's many books on motherhood, but it really doesn't make any of us experts at all, because at the end of the day, our children are all individuals themselves. So how we are going to raise them, how we're going to communicate with them, the dynamics that we have with them, is always going to be a new experience. Even as a mom that has more than one child, child A is going to be different from child B, and you know, there's going to be different requirements that you're going to have in responding to, nurturing and raising each child that you have. We're all just learning from our experiences and doing the best that we can, implement certain things, grow, make changes where we need to make changes, ensure that we are in a position where we can be the best we can be and do the best that we can. As I said, I had my daughter when I was 18 years old. Definitely did not have a plan. I feel like nowadays people people have so many resources. We are so much more aware, we're so much more woke to, you know, what we desire to be as parents, as mothers, which I think is so amazing, to create a vision of the type of parent they want to be and the type of parent that they don't want to be as well. That's such an amazing way to plan and prepare for motherhood. I certainly did not have the opportunity to do that, did not have the opportunity to plan. My pregnancy wasn't even planned. I was thrusted into motherhood and I literally had to just go with the flow. I literally had to just do the best that I could to raise my child. Thankfully, by the grace of God, I have raised a child that I'm super, super proud of. But most importantly, my daughter seeing me as a good mom, and my daughter seeing me as having done a good job with her. Because I had my daughter so young, the only person's experience that I could really learn from was my own mum's experience as my mum. As I said, my mum is a Nigerian woman. For most of my childhood, my mum was a single mum. She had 5 children. I spent a lot of my childhood kind of viewing my mum as like this really strong African woman, you know. I did think that my mum was strict, probably not as strict as some other African parents. I think the only time that I thought my mum was strict was when she wasn't allowing me to go out. Like I would want to like go out with my friends, like go to parties and things like that late at night. I was someone that was very outgoing when I was young as well, so I always wanted to like play out with my friends and things like that. And there'll be times where she would be like, no, don't play out, you're not allowed to play out, you play out too much. I would disobey her, you know, I wouldn't listen. I'll sneak out when she's gone to work. Being an African immigrant in the UK with children to raise, my mum was working 2 or 3 jobs back to back. And that meant that she spent less time at home in the house with her kids. Kind of had no choice but to just leave us to fend for ourselves, but not in a way where she was like neglecting us. She would make sure obviously that there's food in the house. She would let us know what to do, what not to do. She definitely equipped us to be independent because she had to work in order to keep a roof over our heads and in order to make sure we had food in our stomach and we had uniforms to wear to school and we had supplies for school. But in turn, that also meant that we were left to our own devices basically, and I would definitely go out, sneak out, go hang out with my friends when my mum's at work, because I knew that she'd be going to work for a certain amount of hours, so I knew the time I could leave, the time I need to get back by before she gets back, all of that stuff, right? I feel like I had a good relationship with my mum outside of, you know, us bickering here and there. I feel like I'm very much like my mum in terms of my personality, in terms of being someone that is quite strong-minded / stubborn sometimes. The aspect of my relationship with my mum that I think was missing was the emotional side of things, the emotional connection and the opportunity to really communicate on a really deep level. And I think that's something that a lot of African parents lack. We kind of see our parents as dictators, especially from my generation as well. I'm 36 years old. A lot of us grew up seeing our parents as dictators, telling us what to do, what not to do. There were certain things that we were definitely not allowed to do and was like an abomination if you do it. As much as me and my mum would laugh together, we have similar personalities. We both can be very silly and goofy. My mum is absolutely hilarious. If you think I'm funny, I get it from my mum, okay? I didn't really see my mum as someone that I could go to talk about things. I dealt with a lot of things myself. I had a diary when I was younger and I used to always write in my diary and express my thoughts and my feelings in my diary. I think the most toxic aspects of my childhood and watching my mum was, I don't know if I want to say this. Whew, girl, I ain't finna, this ain't gonna be the, this is not gonna be the time for me to now start crying on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna ruin my makeup. And I did my makeup so well today. Unfortunately, I had to see my mom experience domestic. The memory of it is like forever etched in the back of my mind. One thing I definitely noticed in me seeing this happen and not being able to really do anything because I was a child, I always saw my mom fighting back. Like, she never just took it. She always fought back. I don't really want to like go into that too much because that's like a whole other thing, but I'm only highlighting this aspect of watching my mum being a mum to express how that affected me as a child who now is a mum myself. I saw a lot of strength in my mum. I saw a lot of strength in her. I saw a lot of not giving up. I saw a lot of fighting back, and I saw a lot of her just doing whatever she needed to do to make sure that her children were good. Like, she did her best. Overall, there are both good and bad things that I was able to learn from my mum that has helped me to be the mum that I am today. Despite the fact that I became a mum so young and I literally had no clue what the hell I was doing. Clueless. I had no idea how I was going to navigate motherhood. I didn't have the resources that so many of us have now. I wasn't self-aware about so many things before bringing a child into the world, and I know that so many people have the opportunity to do that now, which is amazing. Hopefully we can raise a generation of children that have amazing mothers, and let's see how that transpires into our community and into society as a whole. One thing that I definitely was aware of when I had my daughter, from when she was about 2 years old, I knew that I wanted my daughter to be able to talk to me about anything. That was something that I kind of lacked with my relationship with my mum when I was younger. So I knew for sure that with my own daughter, I wanted her to be able to feel free and feel comfortable enough to be able to talk to me about anything, because there's definitely things that I would tell my daughter now that I wish someone had told me when I was her age. From when she was about 2 or 3 years old, able to put sentences together and talk, I would always just let her talk. I would say to her, you know, what happened today at nursery? What did you do at nursery? Like, I always made sure that I asked her questions about her experience at nursery when I picked her up, to give her the opportunity to talk to me about it, to tell me what her day was like and what she did and all of that stuff. After a while, I didn't even need to ask her. As soon as I picked her up, she would just start telling me all types of stuff, to the point where she'll be talking and talking and talking. Slowly, her voice would just basically be like an echo in the back of my head. On and on and on. I'm literally zoning out because she's talking so much, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've created a monster. Anyone that knows Natanya now knows that she can absolutely talk for England. She says that she gets it from me because apparently I talk a lot as well. Maybe I do. Maybe I'm the drama. Am I the drama? Maybe I'm the drama. Yeah, I definitely made sure that she was very chatty with me from when she was little. Over the course of this series, I'm gonna go into more detail about me and my daughter's relationship and how I've navigated that over the years. But I just wanted to kind of build a picture of my background, where I'm coming from, as we together begin to explore the different aspects and the different facets of mother-daughter relationships as a whole, and how we can come to a better understanding that allows us to have room for growth and allows us to be able to make changes where we need to. I've definitely done a lot of learning along the way. I've grown along the way, and I think it's important for me to be open and honest about that, because again, we're not perfect. And there is no handbook to motherhood and parenthood. During this series, I think it's really important that we take a really good look at some of the reasons why there is a breakdown in mother-daughter relationships, and also take a look at how these breakdowns can be fixed. Are some mother-daughter relationships just beyond fixing? I want us to be able to look at the Christian aspect of motherhood as well, because obviously I am a Christian, and I know that a lot of my subscribers are Christians as well, and I think it's just personally for me, it's really important to be able to look at things from that perspective, because I believe that every child is a gift from God, and as a mother, I have been entrusted with this gift, to nurture this gift. So it's really important for me to know what God expects of me as a mother in nurturing and raising this gift that he has given me. So this is the introduction to the series. In part 2 or episode 2, I want us to really begin to look into and discuss cultural, traditional and societal influence on toxic and unhealthy mother-daughter relationships, because I think it's really important that we delve into the foundation of a lot of the issues that are going on in mother-daughter relationships today. And I'm also going to be sharing my experience and my perspective from both sides, as a mother to my daughter and also as a daughter to my mum. So yeah guys, I hope you guys are going to be on this journey with me in this series, tuned in. Feel free to leave a comment down below if there's anything specifically that you want me to cover during this series. I actually have a whole load of notes of things that I want to cover and talk about and share, but if there's anything that you want to make sure that I do cover and talk about during this series, feel free to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you know every time I upload. And also remember to like this video. That would really help to push the visibility of this video for anyone else who can benefit from it. Thank you again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.